Project 613, day 122. We've all heard of kosher food, kosher pair of tefillin, kosher mezuzah. Have you ever heard of kosher clothing? Really? Are there laws that are associated with how we make our garments, of how we wear our garments? And the answer is yes. Today we learn about a mitzvah, which is also called kilayim. Kilayim meaning the mixing of different species, of different kinds. And here's the mitzvah. The Torah prohibits us from mixing wool and linen. We're not allowed to create a material that utilizes both of these materials. We're not allowed to sew them together. We're not even allowed to sew a button onto a woolen jacket with string that is linen. So these two materials must be kept separate. They cannot be put together in the same garment. This in Hebrew is known as shatnez, and this is a prohibition that is in force even till today. It's important to make sure that your garments do not have any type of mixture whatsoever of wool and linen. Wool comes from an animal, linen comes from the ground, flax. Okay, so these are two very different species and you're bringing them together. But it's important to realize that this prohibition only applies to these two species, to these two types of materials, not to any other types of materials. You might ask why? Why isn't it like, crossbreeding or mixing of seeds or grafting? And the answer is essentially this mitzvah is a chayk, it's a statute, something that transcends logic. This is what God decided, and we have to keep it. Moving along with more mitzvahs associated with agriculture. A Jew has a field, wants to harvest the field. The Torah says one must leave an edge of the field for the poor. You cannot harvest the entire field. A little corner, an edge, a certain amount must be left for the poor to take. This is a form of tzedakah, of charity. It's a tax on every single Jewish field. Our sages instituted that one should leave the edge of the field at the end of the harvest, not at the beginning of the harvest. This is one of the ways to ensure that farmers will not, trick the poor people and tell them, oh, we already gave the edge to other poor. Everyone knows exactly when that payout, that edge, that corner is going to be left for the poor. So this is really two mitzvahs. The positive commandment of leaving that edge, the negative commandment of not harvesting the entire field. If someone harvested the entire field, they have an obligation to take a certain amount of that harvest and to give it to the poor in the context of this mitzvah of leaving payah. Thank you all for watching. More tomorrow.